What if I told you that Mickey Mouse never existed? That children around the world grew up without ever hearing "When You Wish Upon a Star." That theme parks as we know them never came to be. That the entire landscape of family entertainment, animation, and childhood itself would be completely unrecognizable. Imagine if Walt Disney had remained a struggling commercial artist in Kansas City and never made the leap to Hollywood. Or if his early animation studio had failed completely in 1923, forcing him to abandon his dreams and pursue a different career entirely. In our alternate timeline, Walt Disney never recovers from his early business failures. Instead of founding Disney Brothers Studio with his brother Roy, Walt takes a job as a newspaper illustrator and eventually becomes a commercial art teacher. His innovative ideas about animation and storytelling remain trapped in sketch pads that no one ever sees. By the end of this exploration, you'll understand how the absence of Disney would have fundamentally altered not just entertainment, but global culture, childhood development, technological innovation, and even the way we understand storytelling itself. The ripple effects would be so profound that our modern world would be virtually unrecognizable. To understand what we'd lose without Disney, we need to appreciate what animation was like before Walt Disney revolutionized it. Early cartoons were crude, simple affairs, mostly slapstick gags featuring basic characters. Animation was seen as a novelty, not a serious art form or storytelling medium. Characters like Felix the Cat and Coco the Clown entertained audiences, but they lacked the personality, depth, and emotional resonance that Disney would later bring to animation. These early cartoons were essentially moving comic strips, entertaining, but not emotionally engaging. Animation technology was primitive. Most cartoons were silent or had simple musical accompaniment. The idea of synchronized sound, full-color animation, or feature-length animated films seemed impossible. The medium was trapped in technical and artistic limitations that no one had figured out how to overcome. Children's entertainment was limited to these simple cartoons, live-action serials, and occasional fairy tale adaptations. There was no sense that animation could tell complex stories, create believable characters, or provide the kind of immersive experiences that would later define childhood entertainment. In our alternate timeline where Disney never exists, animation develops along completely different lines. Other studios continue making simple, gag-based cartoons. Warner Brothers focuses on comedy shorts. MGM produces theatrical novelties, but no studio pushes the boundaries of what animation can achieve. By the 1930s, animation remains a minor entertainment medium. Cartoons are still brief novelties shown before main features. No one develops the techniques for character animation, realistic movement, or emotional storytelling that Disney pioneered. Animation stays locked in its primitive form. When synchronized sound technology emerges, other animation studios experiment with it, but no one creates anything as revolutionary as Steamboat Willie. The breakthrough moment that proved animation could be a sophisticated medium never happens. Sound cartoons remain simple music-and-gag combinations. Children grow up in a world where animated characters lack personality and depth. There's no Mickey Mouse to become a global icon, no Donald Duck or Goofy to create lasting emotional connections. Childhood entertainment remains fragmented between live-action serials, radio shows, and simple cartoons. Fairy tales continue to be adapted for film and theater, but only in live-action formats. Without Disney's animated interpretations, stories like Snow White, Cinderella, and Sleeping Beauty remain rooted in their dark, traditional versions, rather than becoming the optimistic, family-friendly versions that Disney popularized. Hollywood develops without Disney's influence on storytelling, character development, and technical innovation. The studio system focuses entirely on live-action films. The techniques Disney developed for multi-plane cameras, character animation, and synchronized storytelling never emerge. As we enter the 1940s in our alternate timeline, animation remains exactly what it was in the 1920s, a novelty medium for short subjects. The concept of feature-length animated films never develops because no one proves it's possible. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is never made, so no one realizes that audiences will sit through 80 minutes of animation. During World War II, animation plays a minimal role in propaganda and morale boosting. Without Disney's sophisticated character animation and storytelling techniques, wartime cartoons remain simple patriotic shorts. The emotional power that Disney brought to characters like Donald Duck in anti-Nazi cartoons never materializes. Television emerges in the 1950s without Disney's influence on family programming. There's no Disneyland TV show to demonstrate how television can be used for sophisticated storytelling and cross-promotion. TV animation remains limited to cheap, quickly produced shorts rather than quality programming. Suburban families develop different entertainment traditions. Without Disney films to watch together, families rely on radio shows, live-action movies, and outdoor activities. The shared cultural experience of Disney movies, parents and children bonding over the same characters and stories, never develops. Here's where our alternate timeline takes a dramatic turn. The concept of the modern theme park never develops. Amusement parks remain collections of individual rides and attractions. The idea of creating immersive, themed experiences that tell stories and transport visitors to different worlds never emerges. Amusement parks continue operating as they did before Disney Carnival-style collections of rides, games, and food stands. There are no themed lands, no immersive experiences, no attention to storytelling or atmospheric detail. Parks remain seasonal, regional attractions rather than global destinations. The tourism industry develops along completely different lines. Orlando remains a small city in Central Florida. Anaheim stays an agricultural community. The massive tourism infrastructure that Disney theme parks created never materializes, fundamentally altering how Americans think about vacations and family travel. Children in the 1960s grow up with completely different cultural touchstones. There are no Disney characters on lunchboxes, no Disney movies to define childhood experiences, no Disney songs that everyone knows. Childhood culture develops around different characters and stories from various sources. Television animation develops as a cheap, low-quality medium. Without Disney's example of high-quality animation and storytelling, TV cartoons remain primitive. Shows like Hanna-Barbera's limited animation style become the standard, but without Disney's influence pushing for better quality, even these shows are more basic. Internationally, the absence of Disney creates completely different cultural developments. There's no universal language of Disney characters that children worldwide recognize. Different countries develop their own distinct animation styles and storytelling traditions without Disney's homogenizing influence. The 1970s see family entertainment developing in entirely different directions. Without Disney's influence on storytelling and character development, family films remain primarily live-action. The techniques and storytelling approaches that would later create the Disney Renaissance of the 1990s never develop. Animation techniques develop along different paths. Without Disney's innovations in character animation, realistic movement, and emotional expression, animation studios experiment with more abstract, stylized approaches. Different studios develop distinctive techniques, but none achieve Disney's level of character realism. The merchandise industry operates on a completely different model. Without Disney's pioneering approach to character licensing and cross-promotion, children's products remain tied to individual toys, books, or TV shows rather than comprehensive character universes. The modern approach to entertainment marketing never develops. As we enter the 1980s, computer technology begins affecting animation. But without Disney's drive for innovation, the integration happens much more slowly. The computer animation techniques that Disney pioneered for films like Tron and later supported at Pixar develop elsewhere, but with less vision and coordination. Computer animation emerges from technical research rather than storytelling ambition. Without Disney's partnership with Pixar and investment in computer graphics, CGI develops primarily for special effects rather than character animation. The integration of technology and storytelling that defined modern animation never occurs. The 1990s arrive without the Disney Renaissance. There's no Little Mermaid to revitalize animation, no Beauty and the Beast to prove animation can be sophisticated entertainment. Other studios continue making films, but without Disney's influence, family entertainment remains fragmented and less ambitious. Other studios attempt to fill the family entertainment gap, but without Disney's integration of music, animation, and storytelling, their efforts remain disconnected. Some studios focus on comedy, others on adventure, but none develop the comprehensive approach to family entertainment that Disney pioneered. Broadway develops without Disney's influence on musical theater. The Disney theatrical adaptations that revitalized Broadway in the 1990s never happened. Musical theater continues along traditional lines without the spectacular staging and family-friendly stories that Disney brought to the stage. The theme park industry remains stuck in its pre-Disney model. Parks continue operating as collections of rides rather than immersive experiences. The innovations in crowd control, guest experience, and atmospheric theming that Disney pioneered never developed. Theme parks remain regional rather than global attractions. The technology industry develops differently without Disney's constant push for innovation. The audio animatronics technology that Disney pioneered for theme parks develops elsewhere for different purposes. The integration of technology and entertainment that Disney championed doesn't occur as systematically. As we enter the 2000s, digital entertainment develops without Disney's influence on content strategy and character development. Online entertainment remains fragmented. The approach to creating content that works across multiple platforms and media formats never develops as systematically. The streaming revolution happens without Disney's massive content catalog and integrated approach to entertainment. Netflix, Amazon, and other services develop different strategies for family content. The model of using beloved characters and stories to anchor streaming services never emerges as powerfully. Modern global entertainment operates without Disney's unifying influence. Different regions develop distinct entertainment traditions. There's no universal language of Disney characters and stories that transcends cultural boundaries. Entertainment remains more fragmented and localized. The modern animation industry operates without Disney's foundational influence on character development, storytelling, and technical innovation. Animation techniques develop more slowly and in more scattered directions. The integration of traditional and computer animation that Disney pioneered doesn't occur as systematically. Children develop differently without Disney's influence on imagination and storytelling. The shared cultural experiences that Disney movies provided teaching lessons about friendship, perseverance, and following dreams come from scattered sources rather than integrated storytelling. Childhood culture is more fragmented. Families bond over different shared experiences. Without Disney movies that appeal to both children and adults, family entertainment remains age-segregated. The multi-generational appeal that Disney perfected creating content that works for kids but includes sophisticated elements for adults never develops. Educational content develops without Disney's influence on learning through entertainment. The integration of education and enjoyment that Disney achieved in nature documentaries and educational programming doesn't occur as effectively. Learning materials remain more traditional and less engaging. The tourism industry operates without Disney's revolutionary impact on destination travel. Families vacation differently without Disney parks as anchor destinations. The concept of immersive, multi-day entertainment experiences that justify long-distance travel never develops as fully. International cultural relations develop without Disney's soft power influence. American entertainment spreads differently without Disney characters serving as cultural ambassadors. The way that Disney helped spread American values and storytelling approaches around the world never occurs as systematically. Technology develops differently without Disney's constant pressure for innovation in entertainment. The advances in computer graphics, audio technology, and immersive experiences that Disney drove don't occur as rapidly or systematically. Entertainment technology remains more fragmented and less sophisticated. The creative industries operate without Disney's influence on storytelling, character development, and narrative structure. The Disney formula for creating compelling characters and emotionally engaging stories doesn't become the template it did in our timeline. Creative approaches remain more varied but less systematically developed. By our current time, the difference between our world with Disney and an alternate world without Disney has become staggering. Where our world has sophisticated animation, immersive theme parks, and integrated entertainment experiences, the alternate world has fragmented, less sophisticated entertainment that never learned to combine technology, storytelling, and emotional engagement. The implications for our modern world are profound. Without Disney, entertainment would be more fragmented, technology less sophisticated, and family experiences less shared. The common cultural language that Disney provided characters and stories that everyone recognizes would never have developed. But perhaps most importantly, the absence of Disney demonstrates how single creative visions can transform entire industries and cultures. Disney didn't just create entertainment. It created a template for how entertainment could work, how technology could serve storytelling, and how shared experiences could bring families and cultures together. However, the absence of Disney might also have allowed for more diverse creative approaches to flourish. Without Disney's dominant influence setting industry standards, different cultural traditions and storytelling approaches might have developed more fully. Entertainment might be more varied and less homogenized. The story of what might have been without Disney ultimately demonstrates the incredible power of creative vision and innovation. Disney didn't just build a company. It created new ways of thinking about entertainment, storytelling, and the integration of technology and art. The absence of that vision would have left a massive gap in human culture that no combination of other creators could have filled in quite the same way. Understanding what we might have lost without Disney helps us appreciate not just the specific contributions of one company, but the broader importance of creative innovation in shaping human culture. The technologies, storytelling techniques, and cultural experiences that Disney pioneered have become so fundamental to modern entertainment that it's almost impossible to imagine our world without them.